Hello there and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to present you the STB 1 after I released today where I record the video on the Leopard 1. Then I thought it would be just fair enough to compare it with the STB 1, which is at the same battle rating, has received the same buffs to the gun and a bit the ammunition rework, and just features some trade-offs versus the Leopard 1, but I think the STB 1 is just all around a better tank. So two things, I'm not quite sure when I will release this video, maybe next week, so in August, or I just will release it on the weekend before the beginning of August. The thing is, I'm terribly sorry again about the background noise of the ventilator. You know the story by now. It has rained yesterday, but now the heat is back, the humidity is back. It's you know, suffering all over again. In the video, the comments that I read so far from, you know, even Britain and the Netherlands, Belgium, northern part of Germany, to which I will come back in another video maybe, I just have received reports, yeah, we are sweating here as well, and so forth. It's not directly the heat, it's more like the lack of winds, the lack of shadow, and also the high humidity that kills me. So it's already something that interacts with each other. Back to the STB 1. So, it is worse than the Leopard 1 in terms of reloads and also in terms of gun depression and gun elevation. However, it retains the speed and overall mobility in most scenarios, so effectively you will not really feel the trade-off of 65 kilometers an hour top speed versus 53. If the Leopard cannot really realistically reach 60 kilometers an hour speed, what's the top speed worth? In reverse, it's a bit small, bit less agile, but overall still good enough. Then you gain armor. The turret armor is pretty bouncy here and here. The cupola is not the biggest target, and even the turret front here will absorb the most damage, and if something penetrates here, it will be absorbed by the cannon breech. Weak spots are the upper frontal plate, because you know there are two upper frontal plates. This is why I say it the way that I say. With the weak spot off here, the driver's hatch and also the turret ring area, maybe a little bit the lower glacis, and especially the side armor, which is that weak that I got penetrated here by the coaxial 20mm of well, French and AMX 30s version 1972. What you also gain is that you have a 50 caliber machine gun and, most of all, a stabilizer, and that is a huge gain. So it's a way that you could say it's a trade-off, but it's a trade-off in favor of this tank compared to the Leopard, which share both the same battle rating of 7.7. Now, one thing about the stabilizer, it's not perfect. At higher speeds it wobbles around, and if you're too fast and you have a target, then you need to brake, and then just it can go outside of the actual gun depression or elevation range of -6 and or +9 degrees, and then it jumps around wildly, and then correct, that is difficult. For that to neglect it in a stationary fight, if you want to go hull down, you have hydropneumatic suspension, but in most scenarios it's not really something that you will use that often, at least I don't. Then also the distribution of the ammunition is, you have something in the back of the turret, some ready rack here, some here and here, so you should put out this one. However, because you stay so long in the fight, because of the advantage that you have with the stabilizer, and you know, making sure that you disable the enemy and then hunt them down, you need more ammunition than with, you know, very well precisely aimed shots. This is how I played. I played much more aggressively, but I can use it much more aggressively because I have the tools. Especially the 50 cals, it can mow down certain bushes and also certain obstacles, especially fences, and then I can implement a heat defense shell into the side or the rear of an enemy tank, where with the Leopard 1 I'm not quite sure if I could mow down as many objects as this, as well as dealing with more American 6.7 light tanks like the M50 Ontos or the T114 or the M56 Scorpion, whereas the Leopard has a much more difficult time to deal with them in comparison. So, without further ado, what do I think about this tank? I think it's much better than the Leopard. It looks better. It has just more tools in the battle than the Leopard that actually make a significant difference. And I happily take the trade-off of the lack of gun depression and longer reload. Just to put things into contrast, here we have the reload of 8.3 for an ace crew. And for the Leopard, we have the fantastic 6.7. So that's 1.6 seconds longer. So if both a Leopard and an STB1 just whiff their shots somewhere in the air, the Leopard easily wins the reload, even with a much worse crew. And then in contrast, the T-54 1947 has 8.5 for an expert crew. So there you have just a few comparisons. But it also has a heavy machine gun, but not as good as the Japanese STB1. And in particular, I have to mention it, you have better vehicles to fall back to with the Type 60 SBRG. You have also the M60, the M41, which makes a difference, and also the whole reproduction, which can support you with the mobility. So you have more better lineup than with the Type 74 or hell the Type 90, which I'm currently researching. So without further ado, let's hop into a fast, frantic battle kill compilation. So first battle scene here is on abandoned factory, and we go in aggressively, very aggressively, and I just want to make my usual route and end up behind B. But then there is a gap in the concrete wall, and I go in aggressively. I saw the glimpse of a T-54, and here is the advantage of a stabilizer, but also him ignoring me, and I push forwards, which is not the smartest thing to do. Of course I get here spotted, but I reload and send one heat shell straight through the right hand side of the tank. I could have killed him here with the first shot, but I just this is just how aggressively you can play with this tank. Not play that precise and still get away with it. There was another T-54 that actually bounced an AP-HE round or AP-HE-BC round or AP-CBC round, whatever ammunition he takes, on my upper frontal glacis, and then my internet goes wild. I drop the artillery strike on him to blind him, to confuse him, to know his location, and then I look to my right and see actually at this moment no tank. It's not really visible at the moment, and then I go aggressively in, and oh boy, he expected me. He's looking in my direction quick, and I just killed the driver and the loader, but not the gunner, and I disabled not his gun breach. So that's a world of trouble, and I can reload before he just realizes that he was in trouble. Now I was shot from the rear with machine gun. I rotate just the turret because I want to catch the AP-HE shell that is very likely loaded by this tank in my engine compartment that doesn't even get set on fire. So that was very aggressively, very lucky, and you actually can shoot over the rear of the tank, which you cannot do in the same fashion with the raised engine compartment of the Leopard. There is a AAA, and he screws up his shooting, and we hull break him. Wow, that was fast, that was aggressive, that was amazing, and you cannot hope at all to do this with a Leopard. No way. No goddamn way. So, what comes next? Well, I try to reverse, and is there action on B? Is there action on A? Now I see that a lot of pinging is going on A, and I just swing the tank around. So the action has slowed down. We gained our kills so far. Let's see how we can support our team. In the kill messages, there are T-54s and IS-4s. They are strong opponents for a lot of the tanks at the battle rating and especially below. So it's my task to take them out. So there's some action going on. Then I receive a shot from the rear. And again, I do the very same trick that I just rotate just the turret. It's a ZSU 57-2 and he does the mistake of staying in that position. But with his last shot, he blows me up and I blow him up. Goddamn, could have been a much better battle right there. Another nice battle scene was here on this map, and I just want to flank around a bit more. Here you can see the different skins. Yeah, this Japanese woman with a gas mask. I couldn't resist back in the days when those decals came in. Yes, I'm having way too many smoke shells with me. That was a mistake. That was one of the first battles that I played with this tank after months and years. Nevertheless, let's see what we can do. And this battle, believe me, was hilarious. I screwed up so much. I screwed up big time and I got away with it. So this was again a very lucky battle. Nevertheless, I have so many more situations like this in this tank than in the other one. IS-6, I push aggressively forwards, which I have to, and he actually bails out in frustration. I use his wreck to actually blind the other one, and I get a double kill here on the BMP-1 and I just move forward. So that was very aggressively played and I got away with it. So this is using the momentum, and that was interesting bounce. Then this what is it, M46, he seems to be disabled and I actually take my time and finish him off. That way he got spotted. And this was as much my kill as it was from this little fellow over there. And it was a triple strike. And this is really the massive difference between the Leopards and this tank. You just move forwards, you just disable the enemy tank, you move forwards. The lack of DPM versus the Leopard 1 is actually not that much of a trade-off as you'd expect it to be. And now I realize shells might come either from the front or from the rear. So where is the enemy? Where is the enemy? There it is. Oh, what is that? Is that a French tank? An AMX? No, it's a Lorraine 40T. So now I reverse, and there we saw the lack of gun depression. I tried to trick him out by shooting the track with the machine gun, and maybe he thought that I would have shot him with the big gun and he would come out receiving a shell. So now I just see that one tank. I just see this one tank, and now watch what I'm doing here. I launch the smoke shells that many people misuse as purely a defensive operation. I use it as an active one. That was a... Oh, there is a second one. There is a second one. The first one is disabled. Quick. Yeah, there we go. And his cannon breach is out. Can this guy reload in time and traverse the turret before I can do anything about it? And he shoots my engine. And now his gun breach is disabled while I'm on fire. And now I can take my time to actually extinguish the fire and try to repair it. Now, the gun depression, how you can aim in this situation is really, really difficult. So, yeah, that was not the best situation. Overlapping armor here is a bit of a problem. Now I reload a hash shell and try to just smack the side of the Lorraine 40T, but I forgot about the fuel tank on the side that absorbs all the damage. However, he's set on fire again, so at least his repair is postponed, or rather interrupted. Let's take on this fella here. And we can reverse. Let's aim, and there he goes. So what I should do right now is load an APDS and go through the back of the engine. But I killed them both. The other one bailed out. He saw he has no chance. And yeah, again, this tank is amazing. This tank is awesome. And I'm not quite sure if I could have done the same with a Leopard. In this situation, it's debatable. I agree to this. But again, it was a fantastic situation, an amazing battle scene, and something that I love. I clearly had the advantage with a stabilizer there when I came around the corner. My aim was not perfect, the ammunition selection was not perfect, where I shot was not perfect, and yet I did get away with it. Is it idiot-proof, this tank? No, not really. If you play wrong, if you come across another tank with a stabilizer, the odds are quite different. And so it is always down to the skill of the enemy. But I think I have found a favorite 7.7 tank much more reliable than the Leopard. Again, don't get mad at me, this is my experience and my opinion that I try always to back up with stats, with the facts that are visible for everybody in the game. So here I saw some action going on, and in greatest skill fashion I reverse. Here you can see 19 kilometers an hour in reverse. It's not shabby, it's not really bad, but forwards this tank goes significantly faster. So I have no idea right now where the enemies are, what I can do about them. So now I go aggressively around the corner, and interesting non-penetration here, Gaijin. So I wiggle the tank, making the aim difficult, and I finish off the T-54 here. I'm unstoppable. I'm Pickle Rick! Yes. I use here the rack as a shield from the front before I can go on, and I actually, well, went across the reload, and I'm unstoppable except for those bombs from an F4U7. So that was the greatest fun, again spoiled by aircraft. And here we are again on Abandoned Factory on a different battle, and well, same tactics apply here, and we'll see how it goes. So I use here the tactics so often, and it's so rewarding that I fear if I just show it too much, people will exactly know where I am at which point in the first 2 minutes of the battle. Yeah, but still, it's amazing, this tactic. You can flank the enemy by going through the middle. I just love this. And again, you can see the highly aggressive playstyle that you also have to do in that situation with the Leopard in my books, because there is just not that much room to kind of flank. So, and I saw some action in A, and here is the tank. I shoot with the 50 cal and actually disable his engine. This M50 Ontos has no idea what's going on. I'm waiting for the right angle, and we kill the commander and make an easy kill here with the 50 cal. I want to finish off this French tank faster. Now I load an APDS, sorry about this, and just straight through here the entire tank, blowing up the ammunition. Another nice kill. So that was a double strike, and we still camp here. There is some action going on. I see it on the minimap on the other side of A. This is still a guy that's there, and we will actually make a crew knockout. And now I'm going through B, and I want to decap it, want to secure that kill that my team seems to have trouble with. So you need to support your team as much as possible. But then, of course, they are about to finish off that Centurion Mark III. So I swing the tank around, and now let's see where we can go. Where should I go? Should I take the risk of actually capping? The places where I die the most often are just simply inside of the caps. It's a big risk. So here we can see that some action is going on where I was previously. And then there is the AAA, and he couldn't really get a shot off before I hull broke him. I love this hull break mechanic. I captured the point, went out of the way of the bombs before they went off, before they could damage me, and then something else is around that area to my left. Here it is, it's a Centurion, and we kill the Centurion Mark 10. Well, he had a stabilizer as well, and a very, well, same gun, or with a much quicker reload, I guess. And already we are in the phase that A, there is nobody at A, C is captured by the enemy, but he needed to explore this side of the map, and there is a Centurion coming around, and he has not, and he doesn't seem to have seen me. My internet goes wild for well, a bit, and I actually kill the gunner and the commander. So now let's kill either the driver or the loader, and I'm shamelessly flanking him, then swinging the tank around once I make sure that nobody is coming from their spawn. Now already this begs the question, is that already spawn camping? Is that already, you know, suppressing the supply of the enemy's front line with tanks? Well, to be honest, at this time there is no front line anymore. And now the thing that I thought that it would happen A got captured by the enemy, and my internet went wild again. Thank you very much, internet. Nothing that I can do about it. Fix your internet. Best comments ever. I should make a contest. Who can write that comment or some sort of around about this comment in the dumbest way? The reward is a bit more Russian bias against you. Yeah, that seems fair. So now we'll see how this will go. So A got contested, an IS-6 just murdered the tank on the other side of the map. What can I expect here? So it's a trap. A capture zone that's capped by the enemy always is like a trap. In good old Obi-Wan Kenobi style, we just trigger the trap and we then go around to see what happens after we positioned ourselves. And I saw an M103, a very small glimpse of it, and a tank to my right that I expected to come around here. So I must make sure that the M103 doesn't see me. So also being stationary doesn't give too many exhaust fumes away that an enemy tank or a very good tanker might know. At this time I decide to track the enemy. I was thinking partially about, you know, shooting at the back of the turret. Should I reverse? Should I risk it? Yeah, there we go, there we go. And I was faster with the trigger this time, but it just killed the driver and the engine is now on fire. So now I want to flank it, but in good old Gaijin fashion, there is always an IS-6 that ruins your day. Always. Always. And that's one hell of a kill, sure. He shoots me behind the engine and one fragment actually ignites the ammunition. Sure, Gaijin. Sure. This is why I love Russian tanks. Yeah. Greatest fun ever. So now we are at the Cologne Map, or on the Cologne Map, or advanced to the Rhine, and I decide to make the flanking maneuver. So here you can see the top speed of above 50 kilometers an hour, and I try to make most use out of it. In this situation, a Leopard might be just a little bit faster, but I'm not quite sure if the difference would make a great difference in how you can play the tank. So I'm looking around the corner, checking it, nothing there. Despite having a stabilizer, you just want to know if something's around the corner. Give yourself the best kind of information that you can get. To play careful, even in such a tank, in the right situation, is advised. At least from my perspective. Now let's see what we can do by flanking the entire enemy team from a position that they might not expect. And what's there? Oh, that's a Leopard. Has he seen me? Has he seen me? Has he seen me? That's the question. The answer is nope. I came from a totally unexpected angle and he got disabled with his gun breech knocked out. So I have all the time in the world, and there you can see what the reload difference between a Leopard and an STB in actuality means. Thumbs up for situational awareness, thumbs up for a stabilizer, and thumbs up for the gun breech being knocked out. So that's my first kill, many more to come hopefully. And what is that? Oh, that's a Tiger 2. So his gun breech is taken out. Can I blow up the ammo rack, or what should I load? Where should I go? That was just the commander, and now he can rotate the turret, but his turret ring is knocked out. And well, let's go for the ammo rack. I love Gaijin's implementation of turret ammo racks for the Tigers. I think every Tiger commander appreciates this. I have no idea where I bounced the shot from the Long 88 on the Panther 2. And well, I see some action going on in the background. There's a tank that I want to kill, but now it's a standoff with this Panther 2. Let's play it safe. Let's play it in a way that I can kill this guy, support my team, hopefully save one of my teammates, and not get shot by the Panther 2. So, good night sunshine. And now, what's the action of the Panther 2? Well, he stays in the place, but now he got already shot. I see it on the minimap, and there he got taken out. Good stuff right there. So now, let's see what we can do to help our team on the front line. And what is that? Is that an IS-4? and we actually kill 2 of the crew members and take out the gun breach. I think that's a really painful hit for that guy, in terms of being down to 2 crew members, having to repair, and that's just not really nice. A split second too late here with the Tiger 1, that would have been a very balanced shot. And let's see if somebody comes here. Nope. And that's already spawn camping, or is it? Well, I reverse here, give the enemy team a chance, and what is that? Well, that was a bad shot into a tank trap that's on top of a pile of rubble. Advanced Gaijin map design, I guess. Call it whatever you want. And I just want to hunt down this target if it still was one. Is there an enemy? Nope, there is none, so let's flank around. And let's see if we can get a shot at this heavy tank that was just marked on the minimap. What is it? Tiger 2. And actually the ammunition didn't blow up. But it was a warhead, so I take it. And now his, well, gun breach is out and his gunner. So now I hopefully can farm him. He's burning, I see that, but I want the kill. And a hash shell in the side. Thank you very much. And I'm not quite sure if the guy that shot him could have finished him off, because there's a lot of smoke. Let's see what's there. Oh, that was... What the hell? I clearly shot, not the... Oh my god. Forget it. And that gave the IS-6 the opportunity to kill the M26E1. Now he's disabled, but I get a, well, kill assist because the whole reproduction was faster. And there you can see we now cleaned up the south, we cleaned up the north by running through, gun and run. Always stay moving, always keep moving, rather. Yeah, me and my English. And let's see what we can do. Let's just clean up the enemy team. That's the thing. And now it's down to luck. It's luck to get the kills. Not because the enemy could kill you, they always can. But if the enemies are there where you are going, the answer is not in this case. Well, at least we got a shot here into this guy. The Hanomag Henschel Jagdpanzer 4.5. I tried to finish him off with the heat shell, but I just... yeah, aim at the wrong spot and I receive a kill assist. Yeah, that should have been a kill. But I aimed wrong here. I think that's my fault. So again, the whole reproduction seems to mow through the enemy team. And we are on the move and nobody sees this IS-3 and he doesn't see us. Just under the spaced armor and his turret rotation speed is not fast enough. Here the APDS is actually worth, and we go for the turret shot and we make a crew knockout. So this time the fragmentation, the spalling if you will, of the shell did its job. And that's the improved APDS. I have so many more of those shots, believe it or not. The APDS got secretly buffed and that's good. That's good. It's not an overkill shell, but it's usable right now. So, that's it for this battle. Let's hop into the next one. So, and I think this battle scene here on the Normandy map needs no real commentary. It's fairly obvious how lucky I am and how aggressively again it is played. What's my verdict on this tank? Well, I think it is very good in the position that it is. Battle rating 7.7. It lacks a bit the lineups, but for me that just plays always a single tank in a battle or in the majority of cases. I think it is in a very strong place. Also, I think the stock grind is not as terrible as with the Leopard, because I think, to be honest, you have the stabilizer and you have the armor, and that makes a huge effective difference in my books. So here I try to ammo rack this guy, but I just simply shoot through the shells. Interesting. Now let's finish him off. Thank you very much. And already I get shot and I'm a huge point of destruction now for the enemy team. I reposition myself here. As you can see, I can use here the gun depression, the 6 degrees of gun depression that I have without using the hydro-pneumatic suspension. And I think I prefer that. Another shell whizzes by, and hello there. That's our actually 2 Leopards, so interesting. I have them under control. Loader, cannon breach. He's out for the fight, and then a tank wreck appears behind me out of nowhere. And we can continue to fight. And again, they smoke up. They just panicked a little bit. And this is very, very aggressive gameplay by me. This is how I like to play my tanks. I know that not every tank should be played that way, but it's just more forgiving. It's just... Okay. Randomly disappearing heat shells on the gun barrel of Russian tanks. That's my favorite. Yeah, not today's sunshine. We blow up his ammunition, and I think the Leopards, they just might prepare an ambush for me. So, ambush of a Leopard versus stabilizer on the STB1. Who wins? I win. Thank you very much. And we keep on moving, and this is the continuous theme. This is what I really like about this tank. Versus the Leopard in a fair fight, I think the STB1 has all the advantages, but it can still be defeated with teamwork if you play it too aggressively. I think I really like this tank. I want to play it more. Sadly, it's already spaded, and I kind of missed the point where I should have gifted it a talisman. It's really worth it. It's so much more enjoyable than the Type 74, even in the current state with all the improvements. This tank profits as much from the ammunition rework and also the accuracy of the L7 variant like the Leopard 1, but it just profits so much more than the Leopard 1 in conjunction with the stabilizer. I'm not quite sure what I should say at this point. You've seen the battle scenes. I could just dream to receive those results with a Leopard, those battle scenes. And I think with all the weak spots it has, with the trade-off in reload and gun depression, I take that trade. I take that trade happily. It's a fantastic tank. The more I played it, the more I fell in love with it. And this time, you know, I love the L7, supported by a stabilizer. It's fantastic. And it just happened to be that I ran out of 50 cal just when this P47, I guess, was at the right spot. So, as a final verdict, this tank is definitely much more effective than the Leopard. I take the trade-offs. I like the looks of it. I like how it plays. And for that kind of having the stabilizer, having all the same ammunition, having the better armor, and just enough gun depression, I happily also take the mobility. It actually needs to be as slow as it is in comparison to its overall top speed and horsepower to ton ratio, because otherwise it would be completely overpowered and broken at 7.7. The thing is, not a lot of people play this tank, and so this might not give it the impact that you might expect from it. So without further ado, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you liked this video and give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.